tomorrow. We scheduled this game with our fans in mind. They've always, I think college basketball has always talked about getting more home and homes in your building in November or early December. So we did that. And, I think it's our greatest test as of yet. I think, to beat a much improved St. John's team was important. And now we play a team with some JUCO All-Americans, a preseason player of the year in Moses Kingsley. And, they've got great firepower. They press every possession. So it'll be a big, big challenge for us. But we're looking forward to it.
Do you think this and Florida State will be the two toughest non-conference teams?
I don't even watch Florida State. I don't know. Hard to say.
You mentioned the pressing. Nate mentioned that too. What do they do that's so unconventional with their press?
Well, they probably, more so frequency of it. I mean, I think that their whole program is built around it, from the athletes they have to the length they have to the way they guard you defensively to the freedom they give their guys offensively. I mean, I think it's just consistent top to bottom. The way that they play is based on that 40 minutes of hell, that Coach Anderson was taught under. So, you could tell they've got a shot blocker in the back. In Moses Kingsley, they got great speed. They'll trap first pass in the when we inbound it. So it's going to be a bit of a scramble. We've got to be organized. We've got to be able to take care of the ball. Obviously, they take pride in wearing you down as well. So we got to be well conditioned as well as everybody's got to be ready.
How much of the game do they usually press?
The whole game, 40 minutes of hell.
How big is that for your guards then? Will this game be for them to control the pace and to not turn balls over and stuff like that?
I think it's on everybody. I don't think it's just them. I mean, I think it's all five guys have got to secure the ball. All five guys have got to, because when you press, you give up something, and it's up to you to take advantage of that. And there's going to be a game of runs, which it seems to be like with their team a lot, as well as ours. So I think everybody's got to do their job in that department.
You played Arkansas once before, and obviously it was a team that you inherited a lot of guys. Now this is more your team.
That was my team too.
Yeah.
They're all my team.
When you look back at that first experience with Arkansas, anything you can gain from that at all? Or?
The only thing I would say is, you kind of throw it out the window, is we had played a game before, so the night before, and then we had to play the next morning. So it's just too hard to take anything from that. I've got a lot of respect for them and the way that they play, and certainly understand that. But no, not really. Yeah, they had Bobby Portis, but I was in the SEC, and so that's not where I draw it from.
Do you think Nate Mason feels a little less pressure to have to be the guy who delivers every possession and to be the number one true scorer now that he's got a few more options?
Well, it's just a much more balanced team. I don't know if we have six guys in double figures. I know we're close. We never put pressure on just one guy to deliver. So I think everybody is freed up better if there's multiple options. But Nate's important. Made some big free throws last game, made a big floater. So I think it's just on everybody. We never really put pressure on one guy to deliver. It's all five guys got to be ready, to be a threat offensively as well as defensively.
You've had three freshmen now, 3 straight years that have kind of earned that Big Ten freshman of the week honor. But it seems like Nate and Jordan, their process going into the season, there wasn't as much maybe pressure on them as there was with Amir being a local kid, being Mr. Basketball. To see the way he's responded to some of that.
It's early.
So far.
It's early, yeah. I mean, I think everybody has pressure in different, ways. I think it's probably magnified with local kids when they go to their local school. I think that's normal. But we try to do our very, very best to eliminate those external pressures as much as we can, but obviously they are there. Amir obviously looked really, really good last game. And every game is independent of itself, and every day is independent of itself. So it's important for him to just come back, continue to work, understand you put up 30 versus a good team. Now you're going to be bumped up to the top of that scouting report. And, what can you do to help the team there? And I'm sure he's excited about doing that.
With Nate and Jordan, Nate in particular, he talked about in that first game against Louisville, he wasn't scared of the moment. It was a big moment for him to be able to play his first game on that stage. Do you see any similarities in Nate and Amir, like a big game? They're not necessarily rattled at all.
Saw it the other day. I think with freshmen you never know, until they're on that stage, until those lights are turned on. It's you can kind of forecast something with each guy, but you never really know. And it's obviously to see Amir that game to show what he did is exciting for us. So he's not scared of the moment. He carried us that last game. He had a great steal, had a great dunk. Obviously, some really good drives to the basket. And I think Nate kind of showed that when he stepped on the court, too. So that's extremely important. Those guys, the moment is big in today's world. Just the camera's always on you. You're in front of big crowds. And that pressure to perform is big. So to see that from those guys is great to see.
You mentioned the balanced scoring, but you got to be pleased that you're averaging 85 points a game without being a team that's shooting 25 threes a game. How pleased are you to be at 85 a game?
It's early, but yeah, it's obviously good. I think statistically, what I've liked, we're not turning the ball over a lot. We're getting to the foul line a lot, which is good. We're taking good shots. We're going inside to out. So offensively, I've been pleased with a lot. I think defensively, I'm pretty pleased too. Now we got to guard the three better than we've done. But overall, it's very early, but I'm happy with what I see so far.
He's talking about the balance. Last year with Jordan, as a freshman, he had to do so much in the interior. With Amir, it seems like there's so many guys that could, tomorrow there could be another guy that has a big game. It's not all on him. Is that, how much easier do you think that is for him than it was for Jordan, maybe, to not have all of that?
Yeah, I thought, I've said it from day one. Last year's team was not complete. Blame me, fine, no big deal. I think we've all understood that. This year, there's more depth. There's more weapons at each position, and I think that frees up everybody else. Yeah, I think it's very, very hard. When you don't have a lot of weapons on the offensive end, then you're forced to do certain things. I think we have more of that this year.
Do you think you match up pretty well with Arkansas in the sense that you guys are kind of used to going up tempo and you have some interior defenders to kind of limit Kingsley?
We don't defend like them. They legitimately, we haven't pressed a lot this season just because a depth at certain spots. They trap almost every time you inbound the ball, so that's a little bit different. They really make it into a track meet. So I do think our schedule has helped in the sense like Arlington pressed. That'll kind of get us caught up with this. I think St. John's had some really good shot blockers. So I think hopefully our guys will be prepared for it. I know that's kind of their existence. So it'll be a bit of adjustment period during the game. But I know our guys will be ready for it.
There are teams that press, but does any team press as much as these guys?
No, I don't think so.
This is number one.
I would say they're the most. Louisville presses a lot, but I'd say this is their identity, and I haven't seen them call it off too much.
Reggie's 9 blocks, he probably easily could have had double digits. Have you ever been
Why didn't he? If it was so easy, he should have. If he could have, he should have.
Can you answer that for us?
I don't know why he could have easily had double digit. I hope he does.
Some of the fouls. Have you been part of that, an experience like that, just a shot blocker like that before? Have you seen?
Gorky was pretty good. When I was at Louisville, I thought Gorky was a good shot blocker. You know, shot blockers are hard because they almost take away from some of the fundamental things that you teach from a defensive standpoint. You know, sometimes a shot block can be bad defense, if that makes sense, because somebody's beat off the bounce, you know, so you're having to rotate a little bit. So you almost have to give a shot blocker a little bit different freedom than other guys, you know, maybe like you do on an offensive end of it. So with Reggie, there's a balance between playing good defense and blocking shots or bad defense and fouling. You know, and I thought last game, played 32 minutes. That's got to be a career high for him from a minute standpoint. I don't know if it is it? Yeah, it's got to be. And that's because just staying in the game. And, you know, so he's got to figure out when to block a shot, when not, when to play good defense, too.
You talked about the letting guys get to the basket part of it, and then offensive rebounds, right? I mean, that for the opponent.
Right.
That was a huge thing. In the last 2 games, you guys have given up quite a bit.
We talked, well, now, I mean, yeah, we talked a lot about an adjustment in the sense of, okay, now we have a shot blocker because last year we really did not. So I think your principles change a little bit. You need to understand that if Reggie does go and try to block, if you're on the weak side, you got to seal down, block out. So, yeah, that's an adjustment where that whoever that is, the guy rotating, needs to do a great job. I thought Arlington, we did a phenomenal job of that.
With Kingsley being such a good shot blocker and you guys have kind of struggled from outside this year, is that concerning at all? Or?
Not really. I don't. I think we're a good shooting team when we take good shots. I don't think we're a bad shooting team. When we take good shots and get good looks, you know, I'm confident it'll go in. So, no, I mean, I'm concerned because he's a really good player, and I'm concerned because they're a really talented group. You know, but I think if we take good shots, stick with what we're trying to do, hopefully that won't be a concern. There's a lot that concerns me, though.
I'm going to give you a starting lineup question. I haven't asked one already.
Okay.
But you've stuck with the same group, and it seems like this group is building some chemistry. I know there's foul trouble with Murphy in the last game. He took him out quickly, but for the most part, that core.
Well, we started off crappy last game. Was it the starting lineup? I don't know. I'm not into the starting lineup thing. It's been 3 years of you asking me that. I think that I look at our team as we've got 7 legit guys who I could justify starting different type of lineups. You know, and I think what lineups are in the most is more important necessarily than the starting lineup part of it. You know, so I don't necessarily look at it like that. But, you know, you got to look at the lineups, what's gelling the most, which game it depends on. You know, I think Akeem, from a physicality standpoint, as a guard, can bring some different things because, you know, Amir and Dupree don't necessarily have that part of it. So I just think it's game by game. I don't switch it because we're winning. That's really why. You know, if you lose, you want to change it up a little bit. But I really don't think about it at all. Like it rarely comes up on my radar. Thanks.